Hello. Just gotta make sure we're up and running, and then we will get going. Alright, we're on. What's up, guys? Colton Gaming here. Back with a new video. It's been a few months, been super busy. Today we're in Run 8. Got the Cajon Pass / West Colton DLC. Let's see here. These switches are manual right now. There we go. So what I'm doing is I am manually running this DLC because it's for version 2 of Run 8. I got version 3. So let's go to Sunny. This ring gets kind of annoying. So what I'm having to do is I'm having to manually dispatch while the other routes that come with Run 8 version 3, they have the auto dispatcher. So it's kind of fun. We're here at West Colton. If you guys don't know, former Union Pacific Conductor, worked in West Colton for several months. So it's kind of fun having to figure things out and kind of route things instead of just running a train for once. So here is the Cajon sub, the beginning of it, down the Cajon Pass, San Bernardino into Colton, and then we got the Mojave sub going up. So I am currently keeping an eye on trains while I put trains away. So it's just kind of something different I thought of doing since there's no auto dispatcher for this route DLC because it hasn't been, I think, integrated for version 3 as far as I know. So, yeah, I'm just going to kind of play around, get things going. If you hear me eating, it's because I'm having breakfast. Make sure to subscribe, like, share to whoever you think might like this. So we got a train coming out of the yard. I set it to go to Roseville. It would be nice. I'm trying to find shortcuts. So I want to be able to delete locomotives without deleting the whole train, and I haven't figured out how to do that yet. Reason being is this is the receiving yard for West Colton. So I'm having trains pull in, but I want to delete some power off the head end, set the lead unit to the other end, and then run it back out. Because by myself, there's no way to hump these cars and build new trains and then get them going again on top of dispatching. This would be a really fun scenario for like a server. You know, kind of run the yard how it is in real life. I'm just not able to do it by myself. So if you guys know how to delete the consist without the rail cars being deleted as well, throw that into the comments or the chat. Because I'd like to, you know, delete a couple units, leave that on. So we got a duper on the rear. And then maybe add a unit or two to the head end. And then just turn this train back around and send it back out. That would be kind of fun. Got 3 trains parked here. I turned this one around. It looks kind of funky because there's 2 on the head, 4 on the rear. So it's not so realistic, but whatever. Added some units here too, in case I need some for an outbound train. This will be more use for the future once we get some inbound cars out this way. Been doing some custom, what do I call them, reskins? I'd call them improvements. So we got SD40. There's free DLC on a website called DCS Studios, I believe. So they come with all this, and then I just kind of I added the patch, I weathered it. I'll show you some other stuff I did down here. Some more weathering that I did. This is from the Run 8 official DLC. Thought these tunnel motors looked a little bit too new, so I Add some weathering, made it look like the lettering was faded. They had white trim here at the bottom, like you have with the speed lettering, but they didn't have that for the original block lettering, so I made that gray, so it just looks a little bit better in my opinion. This is DLC from DCS, free by the way, so make sure to try to check them out. Added some weathering all around pretty heavily to the front, and then the numbers, and then this is the same locomotive, but this is before I weathered the lettering. So I will change this to probably like a cotton belt or something like that. And then once again we have another SD40 that I weathered right here. So just a few things I'm working on in this game. Unfortunately, I don't think I can share this with anybody. You know, it's a pretty tight-knit community, and they're not big on sharing DLC, it seems like. And I ain't trying to get in trouble with anybody. So we got our train coming out. Let's go down this way. I think we got a few trains going out and coming in. We'll see. Got the West Colton balloon here. And then we got the Mojave going up. Yep. We got this train coming out, going up the BNSF. All SP units, why not? One thing that would have been cool if they included this was the industry over here. There's a big mine. You could bring hoppers to. But they did not include that track that runs off right here and goes to it. So that kind of sucks, but whatever. If anyone's interested in doing a server, or if you already got one going with this DLC and stuff, let me know. It'd be fun to mess around with this here and there. Be nice if it was easier to give these trains commands, like set points, where you could click on it, crew it, and then set a point for it to go, because then I could actually work this by myself. Kind of like in trains with the Z, you're able to do that. So these guys are still going slow because they're pulling out. Green signal, we got the what we call the trim power down here for the trim jobs, which are basically go into the hump bowl, you pull out cars, you build a train, then you pull it down to the departure yard right here. Try the 300 tracks. Let's look at our dispatching screen. So, we got intermodal, coal, and then farther back, another intermodal. So what's good about those is that um, I could either run them out through the BNSF and they're done with, or I can make it a little bit more challenging and run them in on the R tracks and out R line. A lot of the I trains will go out through the BNSF and they'll cut off in the Los Angeles subdivision in Riverside, which is outside of this map's coverage basically. So for the sake of keeping it fun, we'll run them through the Alhambra subdivision, which is what this line is right here, and then out to Fontana, see Alhambra. So I'll keep it kind of interesting because we don't have any southbound manifest trains at the moment, which is good because I was super busy for a while, and then I thought, hey, you know what, might as well just do a live stream. Barstow. So I got to keep an eye up here. So this is southbound. got Highland, and then CP Highlands just past this arrow, and then us. So I gotta keep an eye on this part of the Mojave sub for the UP. See what southbound trains are coming. So that's a northbound. Northbound. That's a southbound, but it's going down to LA because it's an I train. It's actually a Z train. And then we got another one behind it, so it looks like it's going to come down the Mojave, so we'll see this guy later on. And that's another northbound. So what we'll do, kind of keep us occupied. I'm still getting used to these controls. I always forget what I'm doing in this game. There's so many controls. So we'll spawn a Highland southbound just to keep us a little busy. Okay, so this one, I forgot since it was still in the yard. So if you tag a train to West Colton, it's going to stop right here, pretty much right in front of the trim tower. So what you have to do is, I got to relinquish my train over here, and then I can tag it and send it off to whatever destination. Let's see, no, it's not that one. Let's see, relinquish. Alright, then we'll go back to this train. And then I'll tag it. For those of you just joining us, just doing a bit of dispatching right now. We got the Cajon Pass / West Colton DLC. It's not integrated with the auto dispatcher since it's for version 2 and this is version 3. So it's kind of tricky. We'll make this Long Beach to Roseville, which would be RV. So M for manifest, Long Beach, LB, Roseville, RV. That's how you have a realistic train symbol, at least when it comes to the Union Pacific. Today's date is the 18th, so we'll put 18. And we'll watch this thing probably take off here. Yeah, recrew. Maybe it's something to do with the switches. There it goes. So now I gave it a destination to go to. Easy enough. So we got a southbound now that has spawned. So let's figure out where we want to put these guys. Now I can't change the signals as well because there's a conflict in the coding, I believe, between the auto dispatcher and manual mode, since this isn't technically for Run 8 version 3. So the way I have to control it is basically it's like automatic block signal right now. So the signals are just responding to what I put in front of it. So by changing the direction of the switches is basically how the signals respond. So I have to keep that in mind. So it's kind of tricky. So like we got these trains coming down, so I'm gonna line it this way so these trains will get all good signals and through here, and if there's a train in front of it like this, then the signals will light up as they should, but it's not CTC right now where it's automatic. So Alright, so we got this train moving out. He's gonna come up main 2 over the Y and up this way. We got a train coming down from Highland. So, I think I'm gonna bring this train. So what we'll do is I'll do this for now. Depending on which train gets there first is who I will put here. So basically, this southbound manifest train is lined all the way to South Dyke, CPC South Dyke, which would be this control point. This train is lined all the way up into the siding to CPC North Dyke, which would be this control point right here. So we'll see who does what. That should take care of it for now. At some point I'm planning on running this train myself. Just haven't gotten to it yet. When I get bored of dispatching this part, and then I will. So, I will definitely keep messing around with weathering these units, paint schemes, just to give us some variety in this game. Got 4 dupers on the rear. That's definitely not legal. But the UP breaks all the rules these days, so it's not like it really matters anyways. So I guess in the meantime we'll go over here. We'll turn this train, meaning we'll send it back up the hill. We'll set a destination. Let's see here. Okay, so I gotta go relinquish my train. That's the one thing that's kind of a little bit annoying about this game, is how you have to relinquish. It'd be nice if it was all edible. Edible? No, not eating things. You're able to edit it. That's the right word. Because when you relinquish one train, it sets to another in your area. It'd be nice if they were just all free, but you could click to AI crew them like you already can. So what we'll do is, let's see if it's set on there. Okay, so we'll set as lead unit. We'll make a train symbol. So let's send this one to North Platte. So we're gonna go MLB, because like I said, the spawn point for West Colton's back by the trim tower, so it'll just stop there. So Long Beach, since it's more west of us, it's already en route according to the game. So you kind of gotta mess around with stuff like that. NP, and then the date is the 18th. So this is how you would do a realistic train symbol on the Union Pacific. Manifest Long Beach to North Platte on the 18th of October. As long as you just have the lead locomotive doing that, you should be fine. So let's check the dispatching screen. Looks like we're good to go. So what I'll do is I'll release this train. We'll cross over, come on main 1, and then it'll go up the Santa Fe the whole way. We won't take it down the Mojave, or up the Mojave, I should say. Because there's really no northbound trains, so that'll work out good. So now all that's left is lining this up. So what I'll do is I'll AI crew it. Come down to this switch. The AI is pretty good in this game. Lined up, lined up. This is the last switch right here. Then we'll go here. I already got line reverse, so he'll come out Crossover, crossover, crossover. Run down main one under the Mojave. Come off on the BNSF curve right here. And he'll basically follow this train all the way up the hill. So we got that train out. He should be coming out here pretty soon. There we go. Now, I can't run these trains out of the yard because the units are facing the wrong way, so I'd have to make some changes. I know it's possible to split these all up and un-DPU them and all that good stuff, but man, it could be a headache from what I've found, so it's kind of annoying. So once again, there's 2 on the head and 3 on the rear, whatever. Until I figure out how to get these trains, until I figure out how I can edit these trains without deleting all the cars, that's just what it be. Simulation X, what's going on, man? If you guys got any real world railroad questions, feel free to ask me. Or about this game, or if you have any suggestions for this game, just let me know. So for those of you that just joined us, we're using the Cajon Pass / West Colton DLC. It's technically for Run 8 version 2, but I got version 3, so I was able to just play with some files and get it to work for Run 8 version 3. However, the auto dispatcher that comes with version 3 does not work on this because it's not programmed. So basically I have to manually dispatch this part. Now everything else that comes with version 3, the auto dispatcher does a great job, so I don't have to worry about that, but I do have to play it with this. So that's kind of what I'm focusing on right now. It's not so much running the train as trying to run West Colton Yard and dispatch everything and make it go nice and smoothly. Simulation X, love your Transport Fever 2 videos. I appreciate it. Hoping to get back to playing that game. I was building a pretty awesome map before I had to take a break from all this. Just been super busy, you know, life stuff. So just had a little bit of time. Thought I'd jump on this game. Between Transport Fever 2 and Run 8, those are kind of my 2 games I stick with these days. So the how to build a realistic railroad helped me a lot with signaling thing. Yeah, it took a lot of time for me to figure out. A lot of things to keep in mind with Transport Fever 2, and you really have to spend a lot of time learning how they kind of coded their stuff. So I'm glad my video could help, and if you make a cool route in the future, maybe upload it to YouTube or somewhere, let me know and I'll check it out. So I think what I'll do is I want to add some cars to the bowl while things aren't too busy on the dispatch. So let's add some hoppers. First, let's clear this. Hoppers, hoppers, hoppers. Alright. Let's go to something different. Let's go to tank cars. So basically what I'll do is I could demonstrate, whether during this session or a different one, how you would build a train out of humped cars in West Colton. So how you would build an outbound train. Let's see. It would be really nice if this game came with all the different types of basic rail cars. That's my real only complaint with this game. So we'll place the train here. We'll put it in this longer track. Alright, so that fit. That's good. And then I will make, let's say, 3 more tracks. Or actually 2 more tracks. So clear. Covered hoppers, gondola. Yeah, there's just not too many options. And it's kind of disappointing. We'll do a couple of these. Maybe some more tank cars. Let's see. I want to build something inspired on my country, but there's almost no content for rolling stock from here. What country are you from? That's the grand question. I'll get a couple tank cars in there. Sometimes these things don't register, but whatever. I will do some empty well cars. Sometimes you do get those when you're humping in West Colton. Place train. Place that right there. And then finally, we'll do one more track here. So that'll be like the 3 tracks that make up a full outbound train. So once I'm done doing this, I'll kind of explain why that is and kind of clarify what I mean. So I'll just put one more, let's put some BNSF cars in there. We'll get some BNSF cars in West Colton sometimes. Alright, tank cars, tank, 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 tank. And we'll go back to hoppers. You also kind of want to change up your cars and where you place them and all that good stuff. And then we will go to box cars. Alright, now we'll place this. Alright, so that looks pretty good to me. Alright, so I'll explain. So all inbound trains to West Colton either pull in or shove in to the receiving yard, which is these tracks here. That's the westward direction, so towards Los Angeles. That's eastward towards Yuma. Okay, so you pull in, you take off your power from the train, you take your power down to the roundhouse, which is right down here. Pull them in, tie them down. Then the hump crew comes out, and they run all the way around the receiving yard. So they'll take one of these 2 tracks, and they'll go all the way to the other end. Then they'll come into whatever track, get on the head end of the cut of cars. So it's basically a full-length train, just no locomotives anymore. Then they'll start shoving it back this way over the hump, which is right here. So you can see it kind of humps down. And then you start humping cars into these different tracks. So they got a guy up here in the Yardmaster's Tower and a computer that lines all these switches, slows down the different cars. So what will happen is, this is a very small version of the hump bowl. This is a condensed version of West Colton, basically. So there'll be 3 tracks, I'd say 2 to 5 tracks with cars in it that are all going to the same destination. What are you doing? Keep going. Anyways, so you'll get 2 to 5 tracks. Let's say this will be for the West Colton to North Platte manifest train. So then you'll come in here with the trim set. You have 1 track that's the head of the train, 1 track that's the mid of the train, and 1 track that's the rear. So first you got to couple up. You get a big stretch to see where these rail cars might not be coupled. Because when you're humping cars, it doesn't mean when they roll in that they couple all the time. So oftentimes you'll have to walk this whole track and find where it didn't couple. And then you couple up the whole track. At the same time, you're checking your switch list so that all the cars on that train's list are in here. So you couple it all up, verify the cars are in there. So then you'd pull this out. Let's say this is the head in. Pull it all the way out. Then you come in, and let's say this is the mid. Couple up to this, get a stretch, verify the cars on your switch list, and you look for the places where there's hasn't been a good couple, or a good joint as we would call it. So then you couple up this track. Okay, so now you got your head and your mid, so then you pull out. Then you come in and let's say this is your rear, and same thing. So that's how you build a train out of the hump yard in West Colton. And then what you do, whoa, where did this come from? Hey, is you use your trim power to pull it all the way down to the receiving yard. You pull in the whatever track the yard master has determined that train's going to be on. You pull up, you tie down 6 cars, and then you cut your hump power off, and then you run, or hump power, your trim power off, and then you head back to the trim, which is over here, and then you start building another train again. So pretty simple. That's basically how it's done. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to delete this because that shouldn't be there. I'm going to see what's going on with this guy because he should be going. Has he got a signal? He's got a signal. Alright, so first things first. We got that one coming. Okay, so we'll align this one into Slover. So we got 1 southbound, 2 northbounds on the Mojave sub at the moment. So we're going to have to try to balance that a bit. Actually, this one, I forgot. It's going to go up the cajon, so we don't got to worry about that. Hey, dispatching's fun. Alright, so let's see what's going on with this guy. He should have kept going, but for whatever reason, he's not. Oh, we're in the underworld. He's got a signal. Let's try getting the number, maybe. Alright. I'm from Argentina. Here are GT 22 refurbished Toshiba trains. Okay. Alright, I don't know why you needed to stop here if you're just going to keep going, but whatever. So I'm curious how this northbound train is doing with 2 units on the head and 4 DPUs on the rear. So let's go check it out. I wish the graphics were at least like 10 years old, not 20 years old. Because if these routes were more, you know, if they just looked better, like not even Train Sim World status, but just better, it'd be way more fun. Okay, they're flying. Yeah, they're doing good. No problems there. To be fair, the grade's not that steep right here. Alright, so let's go back to West Colton. West Colton. I hated working here in the summer. Alright, so that thing's doing its thing. Alright, so I guess what I can do, I'll show you guys how to build a train. I'll probably mess this up, but whatever. Alright, so we're going straight into that. So let's do go, 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 go. Come on, bud. There we go. Go, 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 go. Be nice if these things had like a wider radius that you can click on. So this will be the head, this will be the mid, and this will be the rear. So let's see if I can do this without messing up. So that's the lead unit. Alright, so all you need to do is auto start an MUDP, multiple unit. That's what MU means, so that they're all connected together. Alright. Let's see if we can do this without looking. I'm trying to get better at like remote control running these things. What's going on? Alright, let me go in the cab here real quick. See what's going on. Oh, I know what's going on. I don't feel like doing this manually, so we're not going to do it manually. I don't know why that unit was on isolate. That's kind of dumb. Make sure all of our stuff's running, huh? It's on run. Alright, let's see if we can get this thing going. F5. Bam. Bam. Page down. Release the independent. We're having some problems today. It's acting like it's not immuing. Immune. Connection's okay. Alright. Let's try it now. I think that did it. There we go. Okay, we got this. You like how that rear truck is just black? I don't know why that is, but it is. For those of you just joining us, just showing a demonstration of how you work the trim yard at West Colton. So we got the head of our train in the middle, mid of the train, rear of the train. So we'll build a full-on and outbound train. Alright, so we're gonna... That was a little bit hard of a joint, but whatever. Alright. It's even got the remote control beacon on it, that's funny. Get a good stretch, make sure it's all together. These things are acting like this is a heavy cut, and it ain't. Come on, meow. Oh, I know why. Ha! Silly me. Joys of this game. Here we go. Alright, we are all moving. Whoa! These controls are so touchy. So as this thing's rolling out, I'm kind of double checking car numbers. doing is I'm just using the independent to switch, or to slow down, I should say. Because these aren't hooked up with air yet unless there's a certain tonnage. Yep, feels like I'm back in it again, just without all the bad stuff. I can choose when I want to do this. Simulation X. I've noticed playing some sims that US locals have switch called shared power. Does it really do something, or what is its function? I don't remember seeing anything about shared power in a real unit. Could just be something they put on. I may be wrong. It's been a while since I've been in the locomotive. I just don't recall. It might have been called something differently in the ones I was in, so I can't say either way. The only thing I can think of is that's what some games maybe call the MU or multiple unit. Could be wrong though. Alright, we'll try to get after it a little bit. So this will give you an idea of how long it takes to build your typical train. It takes a while. Spoiler alert. And when you're in the yard, it's not real gentle either. There's a whole lot of banging around. Especially because you use remotes, kind of like how we're doing this right now. So, not the most best way to do it. It'd be nice if they went back to conventional crews. Conventional crews being a locomotive being ran by an actual engineer. All these jobs on West Colton are remote control jobs. Alright, so we got our last car here. So I'll try not to botch this. Uh, uh, uh. Oh man, literally like a truck. Ugh. Tap blows. Alright, so now we're going to go into this track. Here we go. That was very quiet. There should have been some slack right there. So I'm just going to watch it from here. Normally I'd probably have to walk like right here-ish per rule. I mean, you could do it from here, but it might be frowned upon. We're going slow enough to where we can just let it couple, no big deal. There we go. Dun, dun, dun. Independent on. So what I want to do at the moment is, you usually have a guy on the head end. Oh, how convenient. He went right into the track that has an occupied train. Sweet. So what I'll have to do here is I'll have to back us up so we can go into a different track. When a good plan comes together. That one's lying straight, that one's lying straight. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to reverse, go down a different track. I knew I should have checked that first, but you know. Back, throttle up. So let's back this thing up and we will run down We will run down this one. So do we have to have permission for these ones? All these in the manual, I guess. Let's see, we got trains everywhere. Everything looks good though, so let's keep doing our thing. Don't want to go too fast in the yard. So what we'll do is we'll go like this. Yes, I know. I am the dispatcher, leave me alone. So that's lined up. So I think what we'll have to do is we'll have to get over these switches and then line them. Oh yeah, we got plenty of room. See, this is good. I'm getting practice at running this like a remote job because I am not good at this in this game. So, for those of you that just joined us, we're building a train at the trim in West Colton. I'm just trying to show you guys how you would do it in real life. I did kind of mess it though off the bat. I didn't pick where I was going. I'm the dispatcher, leave me alone. Alright, so let's see here. Will you let me do it now? There we go. Yeehaw. Alright. So now, forwards. What's going on, guys? Thanks for hopping on. Good morning, Kobe's Hut. What's going on? Doing some manual dispatching here on the Cajon sub / West Colton DLC. And while things are quiet on the dispatching, we're building an outbound train in West Colton, what we would call a trim job in West Colton. I worked plenty of these in my day. It was alright job. There's definitely other jobs I'd rather do in the yard, but there's definitely other jobs that were worse to do in the yard at the same time. So it's kind of like it wasn't a win or a lose in my opinion. I hated doing the hump. That was the ultimate suck fest. So, it's no good. The best jobs were the C jobs, which is where you just take power, put them on outbound trains. That's all you do all day. Super easy. So what we did is we had 3 tracks full of cars. 1 track was the head, 1 track was the mid, and 1 track was the rear. So we got the head and the mid on it right now. The rear is right here. Once we have the rear, we'll pull it down, take off our trim power, and call it good. If you guys got any questions, let me know. Keeping an eye on the chat. Hoping to, I'll probably still be pretty busy the next few weeks, so I'll try to get on here and there. I've just been super busy lately. Hopefully this track will hold this train. It's already pretty long. They definitely should have. Yeah, we're already. We'll see. I should have made this yard a little bit more realistic size. This is like a very condensed version of West Colton. Alright, so we're gonna get on the ground so we can flip this switch. While we're doing that, see the juices are flowing again. While you're waiting for one thing, you always want to try to line yourself up for the next thing. Saves time. Kobe said, would you build the train with loaded cars up front, empties on the back kind of thing? Yep, exactly. You need to have the weight distributed correctly. So you need to have the loads on the head end. Stop. That's not too bad. Yeah, there's a certain percentage of weight that needs to be on the head end of the total train's weight. So yeah, typically the head end of the train, so the head track would have pretty much all loads, the mid would have a mixture, and then the rear was typically empties. Okay, so now we're gonna get our last cut. So this would be a really easy train to build. All the cars were in tracks right next to each other. When you have a train that has 5 different tracks to put together, and the tracks are like over here and over here and over there, like that's when it can take a while. Alright, so we're just going to walk out here. You have to have a visual on the point of the train. It's like right here's fine. So how we would do this is you have a guy back here with a remote control box on like I'm doing right now, and then you'd have a guy on the head end. And you can pitch the box back and forth to who has control of the box. So like right now I would have control of the box because I'm the one that could see it. When we pull down and out, the guy on the head end would have control of the box. Alright, so F5 to knock off the brakes. So now we're rolling. Alright, so now we're gonna so now we're on the head end. So I'll show you my view from the head end. If I can get there in any kind of reasonable time. So this is what it would look like if you're working on the head end. You're standing right here, looking back at the unit. It's awesome. Not really. So I'll show you how sketchy this can be. So right now, Kobe's Hut, we're not really concerned about DPUs. We're just pulling down a train to the departure yard where we will disconnect our power. This is the trim power, so all you do with this power is exactly what I'm doing right now. A C job would be taking power out of the roundhouse. Road power is what we'd call it. Attaching it to the head end, and then even attaching DPUs to the rear. Now, how they determine if it needs DPUs is just weight of the train, drawbar strength, coupler strength, and that's pretty much all pre-done out of West Colton. So all you have to do is take orders most of the time, just do what they say. So this is kind of the sketchy part when you have a train next to you, so you can't see how far ahead the end of the track is, because you don't want to blow through a switch, which will happen very easily. So you just gotta be on your toes. And another thing that's not so great is this is all downhill too. So when you this is an empty train that we got right now. You have a pretty heavy loaded train you're pulling down, going downhill. It can be a little sketchy. I never liked being on the head end just because of that fact. Of course I did it. You have to, but I'd rather be doing the work back in the bowl, coupling everything up, and that was always easier to me. So you can kind of see it starts to slope off, but we're already kind of going downhill a bit in real life, and then it slopes off pretty good. So like I wouldn't really need to be on the throttle too much on the box if I were coming down right now in real life. What's really scary is you have these long tracks to our right, and you have to pull a train all the way out of the yard and shove it all the way back in. So you go past, you go next to this hill way down there, and it gets really steep. And when you only have 3 crappy SD40s that they never maintain, and you have like a 10,000 ton train, it wants to take off on you when you start coming out of the yard. There was actually a derailment not too long ago because of that. But today we got a unloaded train. So what I'm doing now is I am using the independent. Now if we had a loaded train, you would have to cut in air, and depending on the weight, it'd be a certain amount of cars that have brakes, so I would be having to do that. So you'd want to come down real nice and easy like this. And they tell you how many locomotives are going to go on the head end of the outbound train. So they'll tell you, yeah, pull down, leave room for 5, meaning 5 locomotives. So you're basically just guessing. So what I want to do is probably stop at like this unit. Might have to speed up a little bit. Stop at that unit, so then it gives you room for another 2 more, since we have 3 right now. So you got all these little things that you have to keep in mind, and it can be pretty difficult. Alright. So then what we would do now, apply 6 brakes. Six brakes is the rule at West Colton. Everywhere you go. That's 3, 4, 5. Oh, there's an alarm going off on my phone, so I can't remember nothing. Alright, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Alright, so we got 6 brakes. Yeah, so there's a certain tonnage where you need a certain amount of brakes. Sometimes you need up to 20 air brakes. Alright, so what I'll have to do, like in real life, is I'll have to shove into it a little bit to get a pin when it's stretched out. You can't get a pin. Alright, so that should be good. Voila. Tell you what, it's much harder doing on the computer than it is with a remote control box. Alright, so we got an outbound train. Let's check it out real quick, see how long it is. Hey, if it's in the track, sweet. Alright, awesome. And then let's check the dispatcher screen. We don't got a whole lot going on right now. We got some trains coming down. Mariloma. Don't see too many of those. Alright. Alright guys, well I think we're going to end there. I might be on later today again, so keep an eye out for that potentially. Yeah, just wanted to get back on for you guys. It'd be much appreciated if you like, subscribe if you're not, and share to any of your railroad buddies if they think they would like something like this. If you have any suggestions or things you'd like to see in future videos on this game, comment. And yeah, that's about it. Thanks guys for tuning in. Yeah, we might see you a little bit later today, so keep an eye out.